Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Through the Farmgate. Yes, get you in a minute. We're doing a maternity special. We're like a bonus episode where we talk all about baby donkeys. This here is Caspian. He's just over a week now, and this is his mummy here, Meg. She is 10 years old and this is her second foal, and I'll introduce her a bit more later on. But we just document how we knew his arrival was coming and how you look after your new foal. So we hope you enjoy. So this here is Meg, or Silver Jubilee of Kindale, as is her official title. If you can't tell, Meg is very heavily pregnant. As you can see, her belly sticks out vastly on either side of her. Meg is due in the next few days to have her own wee foal. And we just wanted to tell you guys what we're looking for to know she is due very, very soon. So, donkey's gestation period lasts about 12.5 to 13 months, just over a year. Because she is slightly bigger, it could be slightly longer. If it's a smaller donkey, again, it could be slightly shorter. Equines have the special ability to actually extend the pregnancy if they feel they're not ready, as in the temperature. So if it is cold outside, a mare will likely hold on to give birthing until she feels it's warmer. So there was a really bad couple of days of windy weather. It was quite cold, and therefore Meg all of a sudden seemed to stop showing signs. She seemed to just get a bit more tight, and I'll explain that now. So we'll come over to this side. Coming up to the last few weeks, generally maybe 6 weeks before the birth, they will begin to produce milk, and they'll produce a lot of milk. For that, their udder tightens and shrinks and tightens and extends and goes through a lot of different changes. And then as you get closer to the pregnancy, a couple of weeks' time, you'll see that her udder becomes very engorged and her teats actually become full as well. Now you might be able to see there, she is beginning to wax up. So basically milk's leaking out the end of the teat and then dries, and it's called waxing up. So that's a sure sign that she is getting very, very close to birthing. So another sign your mare may be due to foal soon is you should know your mare's attitudes and behaviours quite well. And recently Meg has been getting a bit more tetchy. She did have a companion in the stable with her. It was split during the night so she could have her own bed. But you started to notice she was constantly pushing Hobnob to the back wall to get out of her way, to stay away from her. They just want to be on their own. They want to have a foal on their own safely, away from predators, away from anybody else bringing their... Okay, my cameraman's just laughing. Tristan, if you want to show, you've got a little friend there playing with your laces. These are one of our battery hens. They've honestly been the funniest thing on this farm recently. They're just everywhere. They're in tack rooms, they're beside the car, they're at the front door. And no matter what you're doing, they always seem to be there. They've recently taken up residence in Meg's hay basket. They seem to try and lay in there, and she's constantly tapping to shoo them out. And you're very noisy. Yes. They are really quite funny. Yes, you're Giovanni. Don't scare Meg. Okay. Action. So. Another sign, as well as her temperament changing to being a bit more tetchy, wanting to be alone. You also find they drink a lot more water. Of course, going into milk production, more water intake is apparent. But also you can see her back muscles, so along her rump here, the muscles start to slacken. Her whole, you call them the pin bones, everything just seems to drop. Everything becomes wider and looser, including at the back here. Everything just starts to soften. And that's basically just to allow the foal a very easy exit, in a sense. So all being well, we will record. We have a camera up. Justin, you want to show the camera? We have a camera up in here, and basically that should keep an eye on Meg here during the night, during the day as well. And we will try our best to record the birth and hopefully be able to show you. And we will also hopefully get to introduce you to our new arrival. So stay tuned.
We arrived, we think, about 5 minutes after the birth. As you can see here, he has still got the sac on half of his body. Mainly when we got through the door and we seen he was on the ground, first of all we were so relieved to see that he is sitting upright. He's already making motion to try and get up, and it's a really, really healthy sign. We were actually asked quite recently, did we hear Meg making a lot of noise? The truth is, donkeys will not make a lot of noise when they're birthing. It's a very, very quiet affair. You might hear the odd grunt, but they are trying their utmost to stay silent. If you think about it, in the wild, they cannot be alerting to predators that they are vulnerable at this stage, and that they will have a very vulnerable foal at their foot. But Caspian here, as you can see, he's still covered in the sack. When we came in, we made sure the sack was not on his face. Now it clearly isn't, but it's quite an important thing. If you come in or you see the foal being born and you see the sack is still over the face, it's very important to try and clear his airways. Just pull it off his nose and step back. At this stage, we do not want to be getting too involved. Let nature take its course. As long as everyone is happy, everyone's safe, we're generally going to be okay. But one of the most important things is making sure his airways is clear, as I said, and also just leaving them to it. I'm not sure if you can see, but the umbilical cord is still attached between him and his mummy. And as I sort of show in doctors and hospital film and TV, they show you cutting the cord, and sometimes it's a big thing for the father to cut the cord of the baby. With animals, and definitely with the donkeys here, we let it do it. They let it snap naturally. Generally what happens is the mother will stand up, and that pull pressure at the weakest point, usually near the foal on the umbilical cord, and that it'll cut it in half. As you can see here, he's already made attempts to stand up. That was not us, and I'm actually just about to drag him over towards his mummy's face. My concern was where he was in the way of Meg's big feet, and if she was to kick out, she could hurt him. Not in a nasty way, she could maybe just kick to try and get herself balanced, and we wouldn't want him getting harmed. You can see she is licking him there. She is mainly, this is to clean him, to dry him, but also this is the very important stage where the bonding happens, is where mother and baby recognise each other and learn who each other are. And just doing an amazing job. Now remember, she's just had a foal. She is really quite tired, and yet she is still putting all her effort into him, and it's just taking her time. As you can see, just at the hind of her, the rest of the amniotic sac and some of the contents from within. So there's blood cells within there, but it's not blood, so don't be fretting that she's bleeding. It's perfectly natural. And what's great is actually he must have come out really smoothly, because even her afterbirth has all come out really, really neatly. It's a very important thing in equines that is to happen. We have cleared up the bedding, we have cleared up all the afterbirth and some of the gunk. So if you're watching, it's lovely and clean now, and this is to help dry up the ground, dry up Meg, and to help this wee man stand. He's about 15 minutes old here at this point, and he is desperately trying to get himself upright. In the wild, they are trying to get up before sunrise, so it means during the day they can run and move around with mother away from predators, and he is safe. At this stage, he also has little jelly coverings on his feet. They'll eventually wear away, but those jelly coverings are there to protect the mother from getting harmed during the birthing. You can see Meg is cleaning him, licking away, and she's trying to dry him, but also this is where the bonding experience, they get used to each other's smell, and they really form their close connection at this stage. One important job we did, haven't videoed, is we spray his navel. Now that the umbilical cord is snapped naturally, we spray the umbilical cord, or what's left of the navel, with iodine. This is to help prevent infection, because that is the main point where they're going to get infection. The next stage for this wee man, once he gets standing and wobbling about, is to get milk. Caspian did it in about an hour and 10 minutes. He was up in time, wandering about, and at this stage he just goes towards his mother and he puts his nose in any dark crevice of her body, so under her elbow, under her tummy, until eventually he gets to the udder. So his natural instinct is to suckle, and at this stage the milk that is available is called first milk or colostrum, and that milk is full of antibodies. At the moment he has no antibodies, he has not been exposed to any contagion. So what Meg has, what she is able to fight off, she produces antibodies and puts them in her milk. It's slightly thicker than the milk he'd be getting now in a couple of weeks, and this is what protects him in the early stages. As you can see, there he is, 4 legs in the corner. Meg, although she was clean and was nearly part of a hindrance, every time he sort of got himself balanced, she was licking on top of him, and at this stage he could barely hold himself up, let alone her massive head. He looks like he's doing a big stretch from like a cat or a yoga pose. So not long after this, he started making his way around. I actually helped him get up in the initial stage, not intentionally, I was just over near him, and I couldn't let him fall again. So this is Caspian the next morning. As you can see, he is full of beans. So within about an hour and a half, as I said, he got his first milk, and he probably got 2 or 3 more feeds during the night. Meg's udder was bursting, and I'm sure she was relieved to get the pressure removed. It was a brilliant sign. The next morning he was running around, he was irritating his mother, and I don't remember a foal quite as energetic as him, but I probably say that every time I have a foal, he's just absolutely he's just a wee dream. So as I said, we disinfect his navel to make sure he's safe that way, give him a clean bed, and then at this point the training already begins. As you know, we were there within 5 minutes of him being born, so he already got to meet us in the first few minutes of his life. And the very important thing is desensitizing him and getting him used to the Kindale world. He's met horses and people walking along the roadside. He's met our dogs. He's gotten used to the pigs snorting, the chickens coming into his space. He's gotten used to us cleaning the house around him, and I'm already starting to lift his feet, as in pick up his hooves, hold them for a bit, set them down, walk in, give him a scratch, feed his mummy, poke his nose, rub his tummy, pull his ears, gently of course, but touching him all over. And it means by the time he becomes a big donkey, as big as his mummy would think, he'll be safe to work with, because he'll not be frightened of anything we do. Nothing will come as a shock or a surprise. At this stage he's still a little bit of jelly just in the end of his hooves, so he just wears them away with his running and skipping about. We kept him in for about 4 days, and then we let him out when it was lovely, warm and dry. We don't tend to let him out during the wet. Donkeys aren't waterproof, as you know, and it was quite warm actually the next few days after he was born, so Meg made a good choice in birthing him when she did. But the only thing is, foals, especially at this young, cannot regulate their body temperature as well as an adult can. So if it got too hot, or we didn't leave him out for a prolonged period of time in the heat. At this stage he had no teeth, he just had wee gummies, but just beneath the surface his teeth were already starting to go, and I think by his 7th day he had 2 top teeth and 2 bottom teeth, and I think now after about a week and a half you can see the buds of another 4 teeth coming through, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom again. He's made a couple of wee, I'm sure he calls them brays, they're more like little whines or grunts, and he's getting quite a noisy fella, and he loves scratches. We have a chair that sits in his stable, and he now comes in when he sees you, and he backs himself up onto you, so you scratch his hind end and his tummy. It really is an absolute wee dream.
very much. I hope you learnt something and you can sort of appreciate. It's exciting having a foal, but there's also a wee bit of worry and fear. But there's no fear once you have your cheeky little munchkin like this one here. I've never met a donkey who loves tummy scratches as much as he does. Yes. He's a very sweet wee thing. Let us know what you thought. Like, comment, and share with your friends. Let them know and let them see our beautiful little Caspian. And, what do you see? Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye-bye.